All right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about Schwartz Tutoring and how we intend to provide premier personalized education for K through 12 school districts, specifically Montgomery County. So, to tell you a little bit more about Schwartz Tutoring, we actually started in August of 2017 at Miami University. So, my friend Jared Brown, myself, and one additional Miami student named Joseph Osborne officially incorporated the business in 2017, and we kind of just grew it organically as Miami University students. So, from the first year, we started off with just me tutoring. By the end of the year, we're up to about 8 people tutoring. And so over the next 5 years, we continue to grow the company out and have built a talented team full of about 70 part-time tutoring contractors and about 10 part-time W-2 employees to help build, the mission of the company, which is to improve the learning process by tailoring education to the individual and trying to inspire a lifelong pursuit of knowledge. We just recently went over our 10,000 session marks over the 5 year history of the company. So that was, a really exciting milestone for us. And I think it shows, the value we've been able to provide to the community locally. And we're looking to expand that by partnering with schools and districts and the university itself to provide after school tutoring programs. So to dive into a little bit more about the challenges and resources that we're aware of going on in the K through 12 space in the moment is, the students have high quality teachers who are stretched a little thin. Most schools that we've seen have computers, some sort of curriculum, bus transportation, lunch, and then some additional support staff like psychologists, speech therapists, etc. So some of the difficulties that we've seen are some learning loss from the pandemic, faltering test scores and pass rates, a little bit higher staffing turnover and staffing shortages. And then for the students, it can kind of be a tough adjustment period from, in-person to online school, back to in-person, and trying to make sure they can stay on top of everything academically as well as maintaining their own personal mental and physical health. So what Schwartz Tutoring wants to do in order to ameliorate some of these concerns and provide a better educational experience for kids who are struggling is to create a high dosage tutoring program along with Miami University. So as mentioned, Miami University is my alma mater. It's where I graduated from in 2019. And so as part of this company, I've built some solid relationships with a few of the departments. The main one is the Department of Teaching, Curriculum, and Educational Inquiry. So that's a long name for a school, like for people who are going to be future teachers. So these students that we have 11 students in Dr. Jeff Wanko's EDT 430 class who are diving deep into mathematical methods and like the best ways to teach students algebra and the fundamental concepts. So the structure of programs that we have ongoing at Mount Healthy High School in Cincinnati, and then one we're trying to launch at Eaton Middle School up near the Dayton area, are going to be 3 times per week, 30 minutes per session with small groups of 2 to 4 students per tutor, using an online Google Meet such as this, for the video chat, and then using the Schwartz Tutoring online platform for diagramming, the problems on a shared whiteboard. So the nature of the sessions themselves will cover the curriculum that the teachers are currently going through in the class. I know at Mount Healthy they've given the tutors a little bit more flexibility on the curriculum that they can teach, whereas at Eaton they have a pretty specific Bridges middle school math intervention curriculum that they want the tutors to adhere to. So, we're very flexible. We're happy to reinforce the curriculum, but we're also willing and able to kind of come up with personalized examples that help the students out and kind of meet them where they're at. So the way that we intend to fund said programs is through the Ohio ACE program. And so the Ohio ACE program allows qualifying families to get up to $500 to use for after-school tutoring with qualified education service providers, which Schwartz Tutoring is fortunately one of those qualified education service providers. So on our website, we've created a tool, which I'll go ahead and pop up here, that will help parents check to see if they're eligible. So the criteria is that they have to attend a K through 12 school in Ohio with a child between the ages of 6 and 18 with depending on the number of people that live in the household, there will be an income threshold where parents or families will have to be at or below that income threshold in order to be eligible. So this changes kind of depending on the size of the household. And then if they are eligible, what we can do is go through the process. I've created a YouTube video that's pretty much a walkthrough of how parents can get signed up for an account on our website, and then how they can kind of parse the Ohio ACE program website to get signed up. So it's a little bit of an arduous process to get signed up, which is why we created the walkthrough. And we also have kind of people in our team who have gotten very familiar with the process, kind of standing by, waiting, willing, and able to help parents kind of step through that step by step. So just to kind of wrap this up by covering some loose ends, we take the privacy and data security very seriously. We have making good efforts to make sure that we're COPA compliant, so that we're not going to share your child's information with any third parties, and FERPA as well. So just kind of industry standard things that are on our purview, stuff that we're aware of, and stuff that we take seriously. FBI and BCI background checks for all tutors will be provided to the district, and then per sessions, each tutor will kind of record the attendance of who shows up, and then provide brief qualitative notes about what was discussed. In our other programs, we're going to have a pre-test and post-test to kind of get a good sense to see, is this stuff actually making a difference to students? I'm very confident that it will make a positive difference to students, but my confidence is great. What we really want is kind of rigorous data to show a clear, demonstrable increase in the test scores, as well as qualitative feedback from the students to show that, hey, this is actually something that benefited me, that I enjoyed doing. So that is pretty much all I have for the presentation. I'd be happy now to kind of jump over to any questions that you all might have for me. So
I have a question, just to make sure I understood in our previous talk.
Yep.
Even if they don't necessarily qualify, if they fill out the application and everything, they won't be turned away this year.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. So we are not in the business of turning away kids who need help academically. So if a family, makes more money than the income threshold, their student would still be able to participate, provided that at least one student in their group of 3 to 4 was able to go through and get that correctly filled out. So yeah, we definitely want to make it as widely available as possible. But we would like to get as many people as possible through that ACE program application, because if this is money that the state has already allocated for this specific purpose. Our tutors are hardworking individuals. We want to make sure that they're compensated for their time as best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. What other questions do you all have?
This is Amy Burr. So it sounds like there's a two-step application process. They need to have an account with, or we need to have an account with Schwartz, and then we also need to apply through the ACE website. Is that correct?
Correct. So yeah, the Schwartz account is very straightforward. The ACE application is a little bit more arduous, I guess you could say. The video breakdown is 2 minutes of getting signed up on our site, and then 12 minutes of getting signed up through the Ohio Department of Education site. There's supporting documentation that would be required to do the ACE application. So for the ACE application, you would need either a pay stub or a tax return for the income verification, and then you would need the child's birth certificate to show that they're between 6 and 18. Or really, if they're if you have any sort of official document with their birthday on it, I think that would suffice, but they, prefer the birth certificate.
And then follow-up, sorry, I've got 2 more questions.
Go for it.
So is this just for math support, or is this for any subject?
So initially for our pilot program, we're looking to get started primarily with math. If, you have a student in need who wants help for a different subject, that's something that we would potentially be able to accommodate as well. What we could do in that regard, and what we've done kind of at the Mount Healthy is if a student has a different subject that they're interested in, if they're able to fill out the ACE application, they can then meet with one of our other tutors kind of one-on-one. So we have a chemistry student from Mount Healthy, and so once they get that ACE application done, they're going to be paired up one-on-one with one of our other, either farmer business school or pre-med or, math tutors. So yeah, that's something we could definitely accommodate, but it would be kind of outside of the structure of this pilot program.
Gotcha. And then this is for middle school students, correct?
So the one we have at Mount Healthy is for high school students. The one at Eaton is for middle school students. I would be open to doing kind of middle school and high school. I believe the EDT 430 students are training to be high school math teachers, so that's kind of where their area of expertise lies, but they're also, very willing and capable of working with middle school students as well.
Awesome, thank you. I think that's all my questions.
So, the way that we see it, there's kind of a huge need in the education world right now for additional support for the students. And we as a company have built out a team full of awesome tutors who are willing and able to add some hours to their schedules to work with kids. And we want to, bring those forces together and have it be a very powerful experience for everybody involved. All right. So does anyone have any other questions for me?
I guess my other question, I know these were probably the only individuals that did respond so far to that. I know there was a quick turnaround. So if we are able to get them started or kind of circle back to some of the other families, I know there's a bigger need than what is on the screen right here.
Absolutely.
I get a lot of emails.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we can keep adding students as I get to communicate with families.
Yep,
and
we can
grow
definitely
these-
add students on a rolling basis. That is something that would be well within our capabilities to do. We can, if there are existing groups of 2 to 3, we can add a new student into an existing group, or if we then get a group of 3 or 4 new students, we can start a new group and add an additional tutor. So, yeah, we have a good deal of flexibility, and we want to meet you where you're at. If we have people here who are willing to go out of their way on, Wednesday night? All the days are running together, but people are willing to take time out of their busy schedules to meet with me here on a Wednesday night if they want to get started and work quickly because they feel like their students really need it. We're absolutely down to expedite that. And then if other students and families see, hey, those people are having a good experience, I want to join in on that too, we're happy to expand it along the way.
Great.
All right. So, yeah, as I said, the ACE program, it's an awesome program. We had now 5 students total be able to get all the way through the process. So it is doable. It might be a little bit intimidating at first, but if you want someone to kind of work with you through it, Jared and I and then one of our other people named Charlie are willing and able to meet with you and kind of go through the process step by step. But, it's something that we're very passionate about, and I'm very appreciative of you all being willing to take the time to meet with us. And if no one has any other questions, I think we can kind of stop the recording here then.